Hi there, thanks for listening to the second video on the Ruby Reads YouTube channel. Today I'll be reading 3 submissions to the Let's Not Meet subreddit. Let's dig in, shall we? I was 11, living in Austin. At the time I was living in a somewhat shady part of town, the metropolis area if you're familiar with ATX. It's mostly families, but there is definitely crime. My mother picked me up early from school because I was ill. She decides to stop by a bodega on the way home for cigarettes. I, tired and weary, opt to stay in the car. We're the only car in the little lot. She goes inside for a transaction that'll take no more than a minute. Within seconds, I hear it. Then a voice. I peek out of my hoodie and freeze. A man is knocking on my window, rear passenger, speaking rapid Spanish and grinning. That stupid cholo grin guys get when they're about to be violent. The angry smile. My mom's abusive ex had the same smile, and it chilled me. He grips the door handle and pulls. Nothing, it's locked. He walks around the car, trying to open the doors. None give. All the while he's speaking and grinning, saying, "Chica bonita," pretty girl, and a few other words I don't know, but I'm sure weren't good. I launched myself into the front seat and slammed my tiny hands against the horn, laying on it. Then I screamed, a scream so loud I would lose my voice from it within a few hours. At the moment, though, all I thought of was those crime shows my mom and I watched together. The bodega door bursts open and the shopkeep comes out wielding a shotgun I would hate to be on the wrong end of. There is no argument, no fight. The coward who tried to abduct me turns tail and flees. It took the shopkeep and my mom 10 minutes to calm me enough that I would open the doors. She never left me in a car alone after that. I lock every door to this day. I always call the authorities if I see a child alone in a car. It would have taken 15 seconds for me to be abducted, maybe less. Remembering what that guy said, I know I would have had a miserable, very short life if he'd gotten me. Creepy attempted rapist, let's never meet again. And if we do, I'm not worried. I carry a mace, a switchblade, and a .38. First of all, let me say that I live in Brazil, and we are kind of in a really bad situation. Basically, our healthcare, education, and security are garbage at the moment because of corruption and corporate greed. I'm a male, 24 years old, and I am sorry for my English in advance. Last month, after I left from my workplace, I got to my bus stop. Everything normal, except my bus was really late. That's very common. So I got another bus that gets me a little further from my home and I have to walk a little bit to get to it. The bus arrives at my stop and I proceed to walk to my place when a car speeds over the sidewalk with a guy inside holding a gun to my face. "Get the fuck inside the car," he shouted angrily. Now, with the jump scare, I just dropped my headphones as I'm always listening to music. So I proceeded to get near the door and pick up my headphones at the same time. "Hurry, motherfucker! Get in the car!" He was getting very impatient. And suddenly, while I'm holding the door and trying to open it, I see a blind spot. He cannot see me clearly, so I run like it's the fucking devil behind me to the opposite direction of the car. I hear screeches and a gunshot. I bolt into the first house yard that I see. Luckily, the gate was open. And when I have nowhere left to run, just surrounded by walls, I look behind me and see a man running after me. I fall to the floor, covering my head and my eyes with my arms, thinking, this is it, I'm gonna get shot in the head. But nothing happens. So I open my eyes, and the guy was just a random dude that was near me in the street and ran together, scared of the car and the gunshot. There were 3 ladies in that house, and they helped me get my head back together before I left a couple minutes later to my place, safe at last. So, whoever you are, and whatever you are going to do to me, please let's not meet. Hey, long-time fan on this sub, first time posting after having come back and read a few stories late at night in a noisy house. That's a bad idea. Don't do it. Anyway, I'm not certain if this belongs here, but I thought I would share. So this happened maybe 15 years ago. Can't remember exactly. As a kid, my friends and I quite enjoyed drinking, despite being underage. One night, we were out and we ended up with a crate of beers that hadn't been drunk. We had our fun and it was home time. The walk back was going to take about 20 to 30 minutes as it always did, just depending on what route I took. I didn't want to get spotted by the police carrying a crate of beer, I knew the area like the back of my hand, so I went the best way I could think of that was going to run me through the least amount of traffic possible. I'm about halfway home when I hear this drunk guy behind me. Nothing bad. He is stumbling a bit. Sounds like he's talking to himself. I'm young, just pick up the pace and all will be fine, right? He starts saying things to get my attention. I can't remember what exactly, but it's enough to make me glance back. He's in the space between two of the streetlights, so I don't get a good look at him, but I can tell he's drunk, far worse than me. He keeps calling out to me, telling me to stop and the such. It's getting to me. I look back again. He's right under one of the streetlights. I don't get a great view of him. I get a very clear view of what he has in his hands pointing in my direction. I spin my head back and look forward, all buzz gone. I feel like a bad kid carrying around a crate of beer, but this guy has a fucking compound bow. The kind they use in archery competitions. My head is now full of imagery of me being skewered by an arrow bolt through the back. I can hear what he's saying now that the buzz is out of my head. He's threatening to shoot me if I don't stop. The road I was on has a curve to it, and thankfully I was on the inside bend of that. I start hugging the bushes and increasing my pace as much as I dare, but not enough to start running. I don't want to give this guy another reason to fire. My head is racing, heart thumping, and boxers are ready to turn brown. As the road straightens out, I leg it the last 100 meters down to the junction, then disappear into a different street. Phone comes out, Dad gets a call to pick me up and where to meet me ASAP. I head off there quick as I can, looking over my shoulder every other second. Meet Dad, tell him about the walk, get home, have a beer. Not the most gruesome story on here, but enough to really scare the crap out of a kid. Hi guys, thanks so much for listening to these Let's Not Meet submissions. I'm planning on uploading a video a week, and as I mentioned in my last video, as I find my voice a little bit more, I'll be branching out into the creepypasta side of Reddit as well. So, if there are any creepypastas that you particularly like or would like to hear on this channel, please email me at rubyreadsyt@gmail.com. Please also feel free to send me any submissions of your own that you would like to have featured on this channel. I'll list the email for you in the description below. Thanks so much for listening, and stay safe out there.